Friends, thank you for joining again on Empowerment Points with Comfort Confor. Today we bring to you everything you need to know about Academy and OConnect. And as you know, OnPassive is getting closest to its launch as every minute passes by. So we would like you to join in our conversation. Tell us what you know about Academy or Connect. Tell us if you are planning to use some of these products and how, because this helps. Many people need to know a lot about our products. And as a team, I think we can do a great job of teaching everybody how to go about it. So our guest for tonight happens to be one of the best leadership council members who equally happens to be one of the top 100 doctors in the world. So Dr. Bill Williams, you are once again welcome to Empowerment Talks.
Hey, Comfort, good to be here. So happy to be on your program again. We always have a special bond with the people of the UK, which you are originating from your webinar today. And my daughter-in-law is actually from the UK. My children grew up for the first 5 years of their life in the UK. And then they moved to Qatar, and now just 2 months ago, they moved back to the United States for the first time. They live here with us in America. So they have their British accents, and I'm enjoying, some of the interesting words they use that we haven't been used to over here. So we're teaching them American, and they're teaching us British.
Wow, I think they can be really fun out there. That sounds really fun. It feels like just bringing my boys over there so that they can mix all the accents and see what we get, right?
That's right.
Right. Wow, thank you so much for letting us know. So, dear viewers, Dr. Bill Williams is one of ours. I will not go ahead to keep introducing him because if you're a founding member of OnPassive, you should know him. And if you are new on this platform, please check our videos and you'll see where we talk a lot about him to know exactly who he is or to know more about him. So this takes us straight to business. Dr. Bill Williams, right now we have over 700,000 founding members of OnPassive all over the world. And the truth is that most of the people do not yet understand what our products are all about, who needs them and for what purpose and so on. So we would like you to use this opportunity now to tell us about Academy and OConnect. Thank you.
I'm glad to do it. Being home with the grandchildren is a new experience for me.
Right.
They come in anytime, right? So
I know.
we have enjoyed Academy, learning about it. We've enjoyed learning about OConnect, and we can't wait to start using it. Back in 20, 30 years ago, I was on my first international broadcast, taking a course from someone who spent thousands of dollars for one broadcast for just about 2 or 3 hours and put people in hotel rooms all around the country. And that was the first broadcast of some nature for an independent person to do a CE program, continuing education program for medical professionals. Since that time, of course, has become a common thing for us to do things on a webinar, Zoom, or GoToMeeting. And I think the new technology is so much better than the old technology.
Exactly. All right. So like we said before, we would just like you to go ahead and tell us what's the difference and what Academy and all of those are about. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me put up my screen. We'll do a screen share. Are we set up for the screen share?
Yes, we are.
Let me get started then. I'm put a little PowerPoint up for everyone, and then we can go from there.
Oh, all right. That looks like me on your PowerPoint. Me and you and me.
We've been together before, haven't we?
Right.
We were talking in March of 2021 about Obless and all the things that go along with what Ash has put together for us. So I enjoyed that time together, and I'm glad to be back again. Today we'll focus on Academy and OConnect. So let me go ahead and figure out why this is important. meetings, like Ash and I are meeting here in Orlando back in March of 2021. And we were sitting at the table talking about these products and talking about the future of Academy being used in a particular group, which we'll talk about later. And the thing is, it used to, you had to meet face to face. And I can remember going to Indonesia in Jakarta, going to Moscow, to Russia, going to New York, to a hotel, and meeting with individuals for business and doing a face to face. And you didn't have too many ways you could meet with people unless you actually went to their physical location. But now we can do video conferencing with software online, and it's not as expensive like it used to be with having to set up a direct line that you pay thousands of dollars for. Now the internet lets us go peer-to-peer easily for just almost no cost. So OConnect is where we're gonna really be going.
Okay, so OConnect is the latest video conferencing, or so is this like what is coming to replace? What makes the difference between OConnect, or I just let you do? What makes the difference between OConnect and what we have out there now?
Say that again, Content.
Oh, I was just trying to get to understand. You said OConnect is a video conferencing platform. Am I right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. So I was just excited to get more what makes the difference between this one now and what we have out there already from other companies.
What we used to have was more difficult to set up. What we had was not integrated with the other pieces of the puzzle that you had to work with. So you had to spend a lot of time and effort and money buying several different products that you had to plug in together. And sometimes they didn't configure easily together. And it was a nightmare trying to get going. We're still not out of that nightmare because there are glitches that happen, even with the current ones that we have. So OConnect is going to be better than all of those put together.
All right. I'll just let you go ahead with your PowerPoint, please.
Sure. But we have used these video conferencing tools on Passive, and we hold them all the time, every day, every week, to India, to US, to UK, to South Africa. We go all around the world with different products. The main product people are using, of course, is the one that's grown from like $29 billion business to $129 billion business called Zoom. And in the last 2 years, they grew tremendous amount based on the amount of people who went into the distance learning and connecting business. So what we're doing is we're competing with a lot of different folks. The main people is probably the one that's the chief competitor that we'll have will be Zoom. And when we actually go up against them, people will be pretty surprised how superior our product is. It's going to be a lot easier to connect. It's going to be a lot easier to put more people on the program. So OConnect, as we talk about it, it's instant. It doesn't have a lot of setup. It doesn't have a lot of difficulty getting started. A lot of times you're going to be able to have more features built into OConnect than the other products. Here's a good example. We have a screen capture where you can have a camera taking a picture of the room, but you can actually size and power the screen capture to be just a part of that room. You can cut out parts of the room, you can zoom in, and these things will be a big benefit to us. Some of the key features that we have is we'll have the ability to invite people by email. And if we put them into the program and send them an invitation, they can join. You can have direct links to Facebook and YouTube so that this thing can project out into the world over a number of different vehicles. media. And that means that we're going to connect with a lot more people, and we're going to be able to get our message out easier, faster, and a lot less expensive than other types of programs, other companies that sell their product for a lot more money. We're integrated with our URL, and you can send the link to people and they can join. Not a new feature. A lot of people have that feature, but it makes it easier to have that external URL that you can link in. We'll have some ways to communicate within the chats, so you'll have emojis. You know, the emojis can pretty much carry on a conversation among themselves if you're good at it. Scheduling of events and converting text to speech are other things that we're going to talk about now. One of the things that really is exciting about OConnect is we don't have any challenge setting up multiple social media platform connections. So if we want to distribute our information out, a live video, to 4 or 5 different places at once, it'll happen. And that's going to increase our audience size. That's going to increase the ability for us to get exposure for OnPassive and OConnect. And, you know, when we start talking to people about exposure, exposure means income. Whenever you want to talk to somebody around the world on a OConnect meeting, one of the things you're going to be able to do is invite them to have a free trial, to have a guest position at the computer where they can use OConnect. And if they can use it and they like it, they can become a customer. So all they have to do is register their name and email with you when you send them out a notice. So if you could send a notice out to everybody over YouTube that you have, everybody over Facebook that you have on your list, things start to get very interesting with the growth factor, right? How many thousands of people do we all know? And we can give them a free trial, a time to come in as a guest, use the products, and they get to love them and like them, and they'll jump in there, right? Now, if you're doing a presentation, another feature we have is we can direct people after the presentation to a website. Think about that. Right. If you're doing a really nice presentation and they're interested in what you're doing, you can have the website pop right up, and they can go right into your sign up page if you're going to sign people up to join for a trial, or they can go in to sign up as a customer. What if you sold widgets? Well, you could put your widget page at the end of your webinar and have a call to action and an offer. And, you know, anytime you're in sales, you have to have a call to action and an offer for people to be a purchaser, a buyer. So we are all going to be have the capability of being excellent resellers of OnPassive, plus what other businesses that we run already. If I was doing a dental webinar on how to do implants, and it was a patient-based educational program, I could give my technical description to the patient, and at the end I could have my practice website listed, and they could go straight to find out about making an appointment for their implants. So those are the ways this can work. Sounds good, but why does it seem better than anybody else's? Well, OnPassive is way ahead of the curve. The importance of the artificial intelligence and speech recognition is going to show up really well for us, because we're going to be able to not only record the message, but we're going to be able to translate it into 1 language, 2 languages, 20 languages, whatever language people want to listen to. They can actually see the words pop up at the bottom of the screen, for instance. They can see the words pop up in their language. So speech recognition technology. And I'm not sure completely on this, but you might know, Comfort, if it can translate from the voice to the voice of another language, that would even be more special if they have natural language processing.
Wow, this sounds really interesting.
I've heard that might be true. You know, that I could speak in English and it would be able to be translated into the Russian language or Hindi
Right.
or Arabic or Spanish. Those
So that just happens. So is it like programmed in such a way that this translation just happens automatic?
That's what I understand. And, you know, until it shows up in front of us, I'm going to put one little caveat there that I don't know because I haven't seen it, but I've heard that that might be possible with our speech recognition software. It has to be done with artificial intelligence and machine learning. But if it can be done, then I think OnPassive will do it. That's going to be a fun one to watch and wait and see. We know that it will certainly go from speech into text, and that can be done in any language. And so we know that there are going to be hundreds of languages possible, 108 languages possible, that we could go from speech to text. And one of the big factors to me is the ability to talk to people all over the world and communicate in their language. You're not limited by the people that you just happen to know that speak English.
Right.
Or that a Spanish person can only speak to Spanish-speaking people. So this is a very opening type of a program for doing more business in more places when you can communicate clearly and accurately. We all want to work from home. You know, that's kind of the goal.
Oh.
During the pandemic, we found out what we like about it, what we don't like about it. Some of the people love it. And I know that for me, I can do a lot of business from home, depending on what business I'm in. I can't do a lot of dentistry from my home, but I can do a lot of work on teaching and coaching and counseling. My daughter-in-law is a psychologist and does counseling. And so she was about 50-50 with in-person versus webinar-based counseling when she lived in Qatar. But now that she lives in America, she's doing 100% of her counseling online. And, you know, she's not missed a beat. She's working with the same clients in the same way, but it's online. So work from home is possible for many, many businesses. And we're going to make it easier. We're going to make it more profitable for people to work at home.
Wow.
So that's the information on Ocademy. What questions do you have, Comfort, that come to mind that you might want to ask if I know the answer, or if you want to discuss OConnect to the point where we make it more clear to people how well this is received by the people that have seen it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah, I just wanted, because you there's something you made mention, I just want to have a bit clarifications about founding, because there's somewhere you said if you are doing like a presentation and somebody finds it interesting, you could send a link. So is it like that moment where people are going to become resellers, for example, and then you present the business and so on? Is that what the function is? Oh, all right.
Yeah, if somebody wants to be a reseller, technically anybody who's a founder is going to be a customer and a reseller. And if they choose to be active, they can send a link for any product to the people that they're speaking to. You know, you could be speaking on any given subject, and you can include webinar links in your webinar for your website to any product you sell, whether it's the one that you make independent of OnPassive or the one of the 50 that OnPassive is going to have for us to sell. Mm-hmm. That information is going to go straight out to the people after the webinar, in the middle of the webinar. You can choose probably any time in the webinar to send a link. So if you were given an overview of 5 products, you could send 5 webinar links out. So okay. I'm thinking it's going to be fairly versatile, mm-hmm. and it's going to be having easy call to action, which is one of the more important things if you're doing sales.
Right. Okay. One of the things about founders becoming either resellers, or I know that automatically everybody will be a customer, but do founders have a choice whether or not to become resellers?
You don't have to participate as a reseller. I think the company is going to sell products for us, and that means we are reselling if they're selling products for us, but we don't have to be active in the process. Now, on the other hand, a customer would not automatically be a reseller. They'd have to elect to be a reseller. And after launch, if people have not been a founder and they want to be a reseller, they could still be a reseller. And they'll come in and be just like a salesman for any product we have in OnPassive.
Okay, so if somebody comes in at that level as a non-founding member and as a reseller, what's the difference between the two? Like if a customer comes in and chooses to become a reseller, and then
the difference is that they'll sell the same products, but the founder has a better benefit package. A reseller will never have the same benefit package that a founder will have. We'll have bigger bonuses, better bonuses, more opportunities, more automatic things done for us by the company on our behalf. So it's much, much better to be a founder who becomes a reseller at launch. You can still make a lot of money as a worker having a resale position. You can still make a lot of money and be successful selling OnPassive products as a reseller. It's just not the same as a founder.
Okay, all right. That I think this makes a clarification, because there are times, if you listen to Mr. Charles Osong, there are times he says, when he tells people about OnPassive and they're not ready to join, he says, okay, if you're not ready to join now, wait and become a reseller and now get it, because they'll still make money anyway. I think that sounds good. And
it's possible for a reseller to make a lot of money or more than anybody if they work harder. But if they work just as hard and they're a founder, they'll make a lot more than a reseller. I think Charles is really accurate when he says a reseller can make more money, but it's only because they work 10 times harder.
I get it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think I'm satisfied with all connect. So if any other question comes anytime, I think
Sure.
I'll see. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we'll kind of spend some time now talking about Academy, which is another of the wonderful products. And the thing about Academy, it's a platform. It's a total portfolio, just as OConnect is a portfolio of things that go together to make up the product. But Academy is probably a larger product, and it has so many capabilities and so much that it does. And we're going to see all the parts and pieces of it at launch during the beta test, soft launch. But it's a game changer for education for sure, because it really impacts how the student and how the professor will interact together. Let's talk about the benefits of online learning, first of all. Mm-hmm. It saves time and money. I used to spend $1,000 to travel and hotel every time I took a weekend course. The course would cost $500, maybe. The hotel would cost $500, and the travel would cost $500. And before you know it, you're spending $1,000, $2,000. Well, now I can do webinars from my home without going anywhere, without a hotel, and I can eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so I can save on food, right?
Right, I'm sure.
So saves time and money. Everybody understands that one. Allows.
Sorry, before you go ahead, this is very important, especially where I come from, Africa, and we spend a lot of money just to travel abroad to study.
Oh yeah, going abroad, very expensive.
Exactly.
Thousands of dollars for an airplane ticket.
Right.
So it allows access for, reports on what you're learning.
Right.
So you'll have the ability for online professors to grade you to have all kinds of things that are printed out for you. So you're not just listening to somebody talk and you have to take all the notes. There's a real organized benefit to being in a platform where there's a syllabus, there's books, there's all kind of manuals that are put together, and there's reports on your progress put together. So all these things can be done in the program that will benefit the student. The flexibility we have with this kind of program in terms of speed, how fast you can go. Sometimes if you were taking courses, you'd only go once a week and you'd have to take 6 months to finish a course. Well, online learning, you can take all the courses in one day or 1 week. It used to take 6 months. If you can go fast enough and learn, so it's flexible in your time, day or night. You can work your job instead of have to take off. So a lot of benefits there. Retention, it's easier to learn sitting in front of a computer than it is in a noisy classroom where a bunch of kids are acting up, or where the room is too cold and you can't pay attention, or maybe where there's no air conditioning and it's just hot. A lot of those kind of situations are out there that you just don't have a good learning environment. Enhances your capability and your consistency. You know, the amount of material that you can bring in is not limited by the courses offered in your neighborhood. That's a big one for a lot of places in the world. You're not going to get certain learning capability in every city in the world, but online, everything is available to everyone.
Right.
And of course, it's scalable. That means that the instructors particularly can teach thousands instead of 10 or 20. If an instructor has valuable material, they can be very popular and teach all over the world in 200 countries. And it does scale the learning. Big benefit. So we think that the Academy is the best e-learning platform that's ever been created. We think that it's going to be beneficial for grade schools on up through college, postgraduate college, and continuing education. Mm-hmm. You know, I went to college for 4 years and dental school for 4 years, and then I began my education in what's called continuing education. And I spent every other weekend, 2 days a week in classes for the next 10 or 15 years. And so I had more continuing education than I did formal education. That means that there's a lot of people out there that are taking courses during the weekends at night. And that's a huge, huge multi-billion-dollar business. And the people that want to be a part of that teaching will have quite an impact to their career when they tap into a platform that allows them to go worldwide. You know, you could be teaching something that's very creative in the arts and have an art studio online. You could have a physical fitness program online where you actually run a class for aerobics and have a class viewing your TV screen as they do their aerobics. Or you could be a traditional teacher in a classroom with a chalkboard behind you, computer in front of you, and you could do all that with the same platform. So Academy is very flexible. And the thing about it is you can earn a residual income. You can put your course up there that you've created on a video and put it on what we call evergreen status. And somebody can dial in and take that course when it's on a video recorded, and you don't have to give the course 20 times a year, 60 times a year. You could give it once, record it, and play it forever and have residual income from work done once. So that's a very attractive thing to do for people who teach a certain type of material.
Wow.
Where you go through it and just give the material, the information to the student. And then there's, you know, combination hybrid courses where you've got some recorded material and some live feedback with the students. And when you have live feedback, you've got to have one-on-one interaction. And so the platform we have allows that too. So what people will do is they will as an instructor, a professor, and a teacher, they will join Academy as a tutor, and then they'll teach their expertise to any person or any place they want to teach to at any time. And they'll reach out to students on a global level because they can teach in any language. The market is unlimited. And so if you ever thought, well, I never could teach enough people in my hometown, but how many could I teach if I was online within my state? And how many within my country? And we always thought we could only teach in our country, but now we can teach around the world because of the language capabilities of Academy. So it's really interesting, and we want to encourage people to register to be instructors and teachers.
This is
There's a
really
range of
interesting.
things.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and I'm just nodding and feeling really good because I come from the part of the world where teachers, they work really hard and they earn little or nothing, and this sounds like, you know, like a life-changing kind of situation for whoever picks up this opportunity and tries to make use of it, right?
Right. It's amazing how little, in some parts of the world, how little certain professions pay. And so it really will open the door for a better income for many occupations to share their knowledge. You know, if you're an expert in an area, then you should command more income than somebody who's not an expert. So it's very lucrative if you set it up right.
Right.
And the people who are taking the classes, they can gain their skills, more skills, so they can increase their capability locally in their home. Learn how to do, you could learn how to do cooking. You could learn how to do woodwork, sewing. You could learn how to take care of children the best way. You know, so it's not just about occupations that go out and build things and, you know, become doctors or become lawyers. It's occupations that are taking care of things in the home. A lot of important people take care of things in the home. It's called mothers.
Right.
So Academy will have all those things. It's not just going to be book learning, all ages. It's going to be nice because it's going to be automated. The e-learning that we'll have everything in front of us, and we just go through the modules. And we don't have to wait for people to show up. We don't have to wait for things to be on other people's schedules. You know, if the teacher had a sick child, they'd call out sick. But if it was automated, then they could have their e-learning going on and they could do a module while the teacher takes care of their sick child. And the class would not have to be disbanded to come back when the teacher is back in the office. So that's another thing that's going to be good is there's always going to be an opportunity for the class to continue. Sometimes the speed of the class will be adaptable to where you can speed it up. You can take 5 classes in a day instead of 1. You can, you know, there might even be the possibility of speaking faster. If you want to listen faster, you can turn the dial up maybe and somebody will actually speak 2 or 3 times faster. And if, you know, if you listen to somebody that's talks slow, you want to speed them up. Maybe somebody speaks very rapidly, you can slow them down though.
Right.
What's really interesting is that some students will realize this, that they can get debt-free before they finish their classes. What does that mean? Well, if you join on Passive as a founder and you start taking classes, you can pay for your class, and the money you earn being a founder, you probably earn more money than it costs to actually take the class, and you'll earn money and be, of course, debt-free from the class even before the class is finished. So that's one thing. If you're just a customer and you start taking a class, you can learn something and start applying it and earn money so that before the class is finished, you know, you may have paid for your tuition. So there's a lot of benefits to online learning. You don't have to stop your job while you're doing online learning. You can work in the day, take a class at night. You can work half a day, be in class half a day. So your income can be ongoing instead of having to take off and go to school full time. I know when I went to school for 8 years full time, I tried to work a couple of quarters and it was very difficult. And so I basically gave up working and just had tuition month after month after month for 8 years. This is going to be a better situation when you can work at the same time as taking your classes. Going through the process of how does a class work? Well, the Advanced Learning Management System will have AI capability, and it's going to do things during the class that will amaze you. It will give you options that you didn't know you had. You're going to have tutoring programs that people will sign up for to take you through anything that you want to learn better. And they'll kind of hold your hand going through the entire class for a live class. So you can stop and talk and ask questions. You can chat with your mentor, your teacher. You might have other students in the program, and you'll have the ability to have a class discussion online. You might have a chance to have 10 or 20 people on a screen having a class discussion, or a chat room with the class discussion. The tutors can upload videos, and when we get started, they can load up their entire curriculum for the year all at one time, a mass upload. The students can learn exactly what's going on and have notes with the videos. They can read in different languages we talked about. There'll be a video analysis, and it'll analyze videos to detect what's going on in the room. In other words, how much time does a student spend online? How much time does a class run, and are they participating? There'll be ways for the student and a teacher to be aware of each other. So if there's attention required by the student to pass the course, the teacher will know how much time the student's spending in the class looking at the screen. There's even a thing called, let's see, it's how many visitors per month, how many visitors by the day, and even whether they're male or female. So the analysis is going to tell what kind of people are taking your classes. They're going to be able to tell how many views your course had. Now, if you give away courses, that's going to be one thing, but you can also sell courses as an instructor. So you're going to have the capability to automatically know these things. It'll detect where the people live and what they're doing. That distraction detection is the word I was looking for. If a student's looking at a screen, the artificial intelligence is going to see their eyes. But if the student looks down and doesn't look at the screen, the computer will actually know that they're looking at something else. Maybe they've got something in their lap they're reading, like an iPhone. Mm-hmm. Well, this is going to go to the point where the teacher will be notified, or maybe the bell will ring to say, I know you're not paying attention, student, pay attention. So it'll be something nice as a reminder. Wow. And we talked about multiple languages. The lectures will be translated. We'll have a whiteboard capability where we can draw on the screen, and the tutor can explain things better when they have a free hand to draw. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult sometimes to have everything pre-printed and to explain things very well to a student base if you have to use only PowerPoints. And so the interactivity that comes from having a chalkboard, what we used to call a chalkboard, but now a whiteboard, where we use the dry erase marker, you can actually have one on the computer now that will help explain the lecture and to have students give answers. So you're increasing your activity, your interaction with the student, which keeps their attention and interest higher. If you're a student, you can find courses that are to your liking, and there's all kinds of ways to find courses. And we're all familiar with Google, and nowadays we don't go to Webster's dictionary, we go to Google, ask a question, look for a word, check the spelling, everything. So this Elasticsearch is going to be present in our academy, where we're going to have data, text data, numerical data, structured and unstructured data, that we can search and find the exact type course we want by an instructor we like in a certain language, the native language. So we can do all kinds of things with the Elasticsearch that would refine and define the type courses that we look for and teach. Now, the web page content will be seen in different languages on our website. So I think every one of the websites will be multi-language capable, and anybody can read in the native language. Mm-hmm. We have discount coupons when people are actually going in looking for courses. Some people will offer a free course, some will ask monetary rewards for their courses, but they'll give away discount coupons to try them out. And there's supposed to be also a free trial for everyone to their first courses. So everybody gets a free trial when they want to try Academy out. That'll be a big thing to make it popular, because everybody likes to see how it works before they pay for it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Chatbot's going to be interesting because it'll give support, and I'm sure the chatbot will be run by AI, and it'll be based on the same engine that runs OChat. And that means that it's going to be able to talk with learning process language to the person just as if they're a human, and they'll help with all the technical issues. And when we have that chatbot hooked up into Academy, it's going to be a marvelous thing for people to not have so many issues and problems that they can't solve. So again, we'll say the key features of Academy are the bulk video updating, the multilingual aspect, the unique and adaptable nature, the category-wise filtration, meaning we can find the courses we want with ease, and the quality and adjustment of the video. You'll have a lot of control of what you can do with these. I'm excited mostly because it's multi-language learning, and I can teach people, instead of just English, I can go to Spanish and to Hindi and Finnish and French and all the words, all the world's people can be my folks that I can teach. As I've been teaching for 30-something years in the dental space, I ran across Dr. Kano Shah, mm-hmm. and here we are meeting with Ash Mafarth down in Orlando back in March. And we met for the specific purpose of introducing the three of us together, introducing Ash and Dr. Shah, because we wanted to bring Academy to the doctor-to-doctor movement. That's a movement that's trying to unify the world's doctors, dentists, physicians, chiropractors, pharmacists, psychologists, optometrists, just every doctor that treats patients, trying to unify them together for a common purpose of kind of doing the same thing that Ash is doing in the IT world. And so we met, they liked each other, and we came away with a decision that Academy would be the official teaching platform for the doctor-to-doctor movement. And the seal of acceptance for Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath, that's the seal of acceptance for OnPassive, for all of our products. And so that's a very plus for us, a big plus for us, or OnPassive, because if you don't get the seal of approval, then you don't get recommended. And if you're not recommended, you won't make many sales to their members, right?
Okay. Wow.
So it's a big deal, and we're glad we got it. In dentistry, you have to have the ADA seal of approval before you can be accepted. And of course, people look for that if they're going to buy toothpaste. Well, this is bigger than toothpaste.
Wow.
So the Hippocratic seal of approval is ours. I think it's important that we give our learning a new beginning. You know, this is the beginning, the dawn of a new era for the acquisition of skills, for the distribution of skills. And being an instructor and a teacher for over 30 years and being a consumer of education for 65 years now, I've been in schools for 65 years. I never would have believed that I would do more of my teaching online back then. You know, I was always sitting in a classroom with 30 other students. That was my daily activity for so much of my life. Now we're doing it with students all over the world, thousands of people listening in to these kind of webinars. So it's kind of fun, very exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of On Passive, which is bringing the platforms and the portfolios to the people.
Right.
And I'm glad you are part of the platform. You're part of the teaching group, and that's pretty much the end of the presentation. So I'm going to stop the share and go back to the full screen, and we can continue talking about On Passive and all the products.
All right. Yeah, so this is it's been so, I mean, it's so professionally done that all the questions I had, you just answered them like you read, as if you read my mind, and it feels really good. So I really, really appreciate that. But that said, I'll still ask one or two things. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So one of the things is as good as it sounds, there is still this fear of people not being able to, like, they're not IT savvy. So for example, I always speak for my continent because I know the challenges from where I come from. So people may be interested, for example, teachers to upload courses and so on, but the challenge would be how to go about this because they have no idea how all of these things function. Is there any kind of help that they can get in doing that?
One thing about these products is there's going to be video tutorials. So you don't have to be an IT genius to start using these products. If you want to learn about how to implement these things in your own house, in your own business,
right,
in your own community, you're going to have the how-to told to you on the instructional videos. Better than that, though, most of the things that are needed are going to be automated by the company so that you don't have to have a high IT IQ to be able to run these things. They're not going to break down and need repair. They're not going to be needing to be plugged together different parts because it's all going to be seamless. And what we're only going to have to provide in the Academy especially is the content. You know, this is a platform for teaching. It's not a content that's already there for us.
Right.
If we're going to be an instructor. Now, if you want to be a student, the content's going to be all laid out for us. And the people that want to be students take classes. It's going to be thousands of classes done professionally. Mm-hmm. And so that part's easy. You just plug your computer in and start watching classes. A lot of it's going to be free. A lot of it will be inexpensive.
Okay, this is important because I think I tried to explain how much I need an academy because where I come from now, there's a lot of problems, and our children have not been going to school for the past 5 years or since 2016. I don't know, what are is there any way these courses on Academy, for example, could be consumed like offline? Like they're recorded, because where they are, there is no electricity, for example, and things like that. Is there any way they can download the courses and use without actually having like?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question, but I don't know the answer.
Okay, all right.
I think it's going to be difficult to consume them offline because of copyright. I don't know that you could actually download it and keep it. So you may have to find a suitable internet connection for this to run smoothly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So apart from that, we know that as a founding member of Unpassive, we would be like entitled to residual income. So if I choose to use, for example, Academy for maybe to run a talk show, to teach, or to do some tutorials and so on, what I get, is that like a different stream of income, or everything sums up to the normal residual income that I get as a founding member?
Yeah, they're two separate things. If you're a teacher, the income you'll get will be totally related just to what you put up as content online. And if you put recorded videos up and you have people sign up for those courses, that income comes in separately from what OnPassive pays you for your OnPassive membership, which is good. You can sign up and teach one course just because you like to for free. But over here, you can have OnPassive being resold in your websites that they build for you, and you'll have income coming in. So you don't have to actually make money on the courses you give if you don't want to.
Right.
If you want to teach something for fun, you can still have your fun and have your income.
Wow. That is really really interesting. I really appreciate it. It was such a wonderful presentation, and it's a blessing because many people are really going to learn from this. And I just appreciate you for always readily being there for to help at any time. So
yeah, I'm thinking of putting up a course. I was looking for my book, but I don't see it on the table here. Anyway, I was thinking of putting up a course from my book that I wrote,
okay.
you know, and making it like cheap, like $10.
Right.
And teach people how to be more successful, how to have a perfect day every day. And I think I could tailor the course not for just dentists, but for any business, because the universal rules and laws of business apply to everybody. And so I was thinking, why not teach a class that's universally exciting and interesting, but make it so inexpensive that everybody could take it, but everybody would benefit. So how many of those kind of courses out there could be taught? You know, people from all over the world could teach that kind of class if they have some expertise in an area.
Right.
How to make the perfect omelet, how to make some kind of a special costume, how to play a special sport that's unusual in my country, but you know that sport very well. You know, that would be an interesting situation where people make lots of inexpensive courses, and because they're inexpensive, people will take them all over the world. And because so many people take a course from you, that little $10 or $5 or $1, it will add up to millions of dollars if millions of people took the course.
Okay.
So make them affordable, make them enjoyable, and you'll come away in Academy very wealthy. Think about that.
Right. That is really, really interesting. And I think it is actually a life changer. So I just pray that this really goes a long way to help, especially so many people who don't yet see the vision. I think this is very useful information. So I just thank you so much for that. But before we close, or before we finally end the show, is there any other thing you would like to tell our viewers, please?
I think July the 4th is going to be a wonderful time, and we're getting close to the launch, the soft launch. So right. I'm very excited that this month coming up will be a big one for OnPassive. We're hoping for something this summer that will be the highlight of our whole year. And nobody knows the date yet, but when it happens, it's going to be exciting.
Right, right. I think every founding member is excited, and we are waiting patiently because we know it's going to be a blast.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Bill Williams, and we hope to have you back again really soon, because there is still, you have enough, more than enough to deliver, to help people. And
thank you.
Yeah. So we really appreciate your time with us. And
always good to be with you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. It's really a blessing. So dear viewers, yeah.
We'll see all you guys online at some point within the next week. So just tune in, try to find out where we are. Comfort will be there. I'll be there. Jeffrey will be there. Mike will be there. Everybody that shows up, Charles, Marina, and we're always there. So come on and visit with us.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So thanks for doing the invitation. I hope someone respects your own invitation and comes take a good, an informed, wise, informed decision for themselves. So guys, share these videos with your loved ones, and whoever shares the video with you and you want to become a founding member of Adversive, just go back to them and they will teach you, or they will show you how to sign up and become a founding member. So thanks also for watching, and see you again soon. Thank you, Dr.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Take care.
All right, thanks. Bye. Okay, you can just sign up. I'm trying to sign out. It's trying to act up again.